Power System Operation and Control. This session is the continuation of Unit 1. These are the topics we are going to cover in this session. First, we are going to see what is the need for voltage and frequency regulation in the power system. A power system is said to be well designed if it gives a good quality of reliable supply, which means the voltage level must be within the reasonable limit. Practically, all equipments on the power system are designed to operate satisfactorily within voltage variation of around 5%. If the voltage variation is more than the pre-specified value, the performance of the equipment is also sacrificed. The voltage at the generating station and the frequency decides the kilowatt loading of the generating stations and the loading through the interconnectors. What is this interconnectors? A number of power stations are interconnected through these interconnectors. Here comes the need for voltage regulation. The knowledge of voltage regulation helps in maintaining the voltage at the load terminal within prescribed limit under fluctuating load conditions. This is employed by suitable voltage control equipments. The transmission line and the distribution line need the voltage control at various stages to maintain the voltage at the last consumer premises within the permissible limit. So everywhere the voltage control is required. The effect of below normal voltage reduces the light output from the incandescent lamp, and above normal voltage reduces the life of the lamp. When the motors are operated at below normal voltage, they draw abnormally high current and may also overheat. If the voltages of the system deviates from the normal value, the performance of the device suffers and its life expectancy is also decreased. The real line loss depends much upon the reactive line and the real line loss depends much upon the reactive line, and by adjusting the excitation of the generator at the sending end below to a certain limit, it may result in instability of the system, and when the excitation of the generator is fixed above certain limit, it will lead to overheating of the rotor. Service voltages are usually specified by a nominal voltage and nominal value, and the voltage maintained is plus or minus 5% of its nominal value. Next, we are going to see what is the need for frequency regulation. Earlier we have seen voltage regulation. Now we are going to see what is the need for frequency regulation in the power system. The knowledge of frequency regulation helps in maintaining the system frequency, that is, the speed of the alternator within the prescribed limit under fluctuating load conditions. So, frequency depends upon the speed of the alternator. In a network, considerable drop in frequency occurs due to high magnetizing current in the induction motor and the transformers. In a power system, if the frequency changes, there won't be required receiving end voltage. If frequency changes, there will not be any receiving end voltage, and if we connect two systems in parallel, it will spoil the system. Most of the AC motors runs at a speed that is directly related to the frequency. The generator turbines, particularly the steam turbine, are designed to operate at a very precise speed. So, the frequency which is related to the speed should be maintained properly. The overall operation of the power system can be much better controlled if the frequency error is kept within the specific limit. A large number of electrical operated clocks also use this based on the frequency. The constant turbine speed is an important requirement. The velocity of the expanding steam is beyond our control and the turbine frequency requires perfect speed match. Unusual deviation in the frequency can be detected earlier when two systems working in different frequencies are to be tied together to make the same frequency, then a frequency converting station is required. Our next topic is to find the relation between real power versus frequency and reactive power versus voltage control structure. Already we have read in our power system analysis when there is small change in the real power, our phase angle will get affected. So this change gets affects the real line flow. Then if there is change in the reactive power del Q, that will affect both the voltage magnitude as well as the phase angle. This change in the reactive power will affect the reactive line flow. Real power affects the real line flow and reactive power affects the reactive line flow. First we will see about the block diagram and then we will go into the explanation. So the voltage and frequency control loop is of two things. One is ALFC. ALFC is the automatic load frequency control and AVR means it is the automatic voltage regulator circuit control. So this part is the AVR for the voltage control, and in the ALFC automatic load frequency control loop we have two loops. One is primary ALFC and second one will be the secondary ALFC. So first we will see what is AVR, automatic voltage regulator. So this is the bus bar. From the bus bar, with the help of the potential transformer, the voltage will be stepped down. Then with the help of the rectifier, your AC is converted to DC and harmonics will be reduced with the help of the filters. With the reference signal, the comparator is used to compare and produce the error signal. This error signal is amplified and then it is given as the input to the exciter. So in the exciter there will be increase or decrease in the field current. Then this exciter will be given as the input to the generator and the output of the generator is again given to the transformer and the voltage will be stepped up and again given to the bus bar. So here this we are saying it as automatic voltage regulator. So voltage can be regulated in the AVR. This loop is for the QV, that is the reactive power versus voltage control loop. AVR is for reactive power voltage control loop, QV control loop. Second one we are going to see about the automatic load frequency control. This comprises of two things, primary and secondary. This ALFC is for the real power and the frequency control loop. The primary ALFC acts as the mainly used to give the signal to the control valve. So this is the primary ALFC. So to the control valve, the input is for the turbine, it is connected to the control valve. Here we are having a speed sensor. Then the speed governor will be comparing the speed. The major action of the speed governor is to control the steam. Okay, so this is the primary ALFC. The major action of the primary ALFC is to control the control valve for the turbine. Next is the secondary ALFC, automatic load frequency control. Here we are using a frequency sensor. This frequency sensor senses the frequency of the bus bar and compares it with the tie line power frequency in the signal mixer. So here it compares with the tie line powers in the signal mixer. then it is given to the integrator. This integrator reduces the steady state frequency to 0. The output of this is the ACE, that is area control error. This is the area control error. The output is the area control error. This is given to the integrator, and this integrator will reduce the frequency to 0, and then it is given to the speed changer, which gives the reference speed to the governor. The speed changer only will give the reference signal to the governor. So after this, again once the reference signal is produced, again the next will be the action of the primary ALFC, which we have already seen. So this is the three control loops. AVR, automatic voltage regulator, for the QV, reactive power and voltage control, is the AVR voltage loop, and next one for real power frequency we are having the automatic load frequency control loop. So majorly frequency depends upon the speed of the motor. We know the relation N is equal to 120 F by P. So your frequency and speed will be will have direct relationship. So the same thing is explained in a theoretical manner, as you people will not be having the books with you. So I have given you a detailed theory over here. You can look over this. So it is the QV, reactive power voltage control. We are saying it as a automatic voltage regulator circuit. The same thing which I have explained there is given here. You can go through this. Here comes the need for voltage regulation. The knowledge of voltage regulation helps in maintaining the voltage at the load terminal within prescribed limit under fluctuating load conditions. This is employed by suitable voltage control equipments. The transmission line and the distribution line need the voltage control at various stages to maintain the voltage at the. In the secondary ALFC, we will be having a frequency sensor to sense the frequency and compare it with the tie line power. The output of the tie line signal mixer will be the ACE, area control error, and it is given to the speed changer through the integrator. The integrator will reduce the steady state error, and speed changer will give you the reference speed of the governor. So here major thing, we are able to control the speed, which in turn control the frequency of the system. The next topic is the system load variation. The load on a power system varies from time to time, and this variation is due to uncertain demand of the consumer, and we will say it as a variable load on the station. The system load is classified into by 5 broad categories: domestic, commercial, industrial, agriculture, and others means it is a municipal loads like street light, traction, everything. So first one is the domestic load. So all your household appliances, here lights, fans, we'll say it as a domestic load, and this will be mainly has a high peak during your evening time, and it has a demand factor and diversity factor of this range. The what is demand factor, diversity factor, we will be reading in the upcoming slides. Next is the commercial load, the lighting for shops, advertisements, hospitals, all these things will come under commercial load. This commercial load will have two peaks, a peak in the morning as well as the peak in the evening. Next type of load is the industrial load. So industrial load, as the industries goes in shift basis, the load sharing will be constant throughout the day. There will not be any peak during the morning, afternoon, like that. The load sharing will be constant throughout the day. Next one will be your agricultural load. So it occurs mainly during the daytime. The other loads like a municipal load or government load, it will be varying. It will be varying from time to time.